4 coaches down. How many more are left? Welcome back, motherpuckers. This is the Pucked Up Podcast. I am your host, D-Bag, joined by the ever-beautiful Dangerwater and the always magnanimous Finja, or Chris, whichever you prefer.
I can't even say that.
Yeah,
it is weird when people call me Finjif
Fuck you.
when it comes to like
right?
LTN stuff.
Right.
It's always weird because I don't go by that. It just happens to be my Twitch name and like kind of my name everywhere.
Were you like really into peanut butter in high school or something?
No, it's
so where did Finjif come from?
I don't know if I feel like I might have told this. So my cousin and I used to play this game on a floppy disk back in the day when like computers were archaic. And it had this
back
one
in the
character.
Day, I'm so much older than you. Go fuck yourself.
You know what a floppy disk is, right?
Yeah.
I
Welcome to the fucking old club.
I typed papers on a typewriter. Okay.
We're all old. Either way, we're all in our 30s.
Right.
Anyway,
there
was this. It was like this like ping pong game, and this one character's name was Finjif, and it was weird as fuck. So my cousin and I always laughed about it, and I kind of just picked something one day, and that's where it is.
You're gonna get
whoever made that game, fuck you. I own it now. I am the captain now.
I am the captain now.
Yeah, for real.
Wow, that is good to know.
Good story.
No, I always assumed it had something to do with peanut butter.
No,
and
with the irony of me having a nut allergy,
right? Like that would be hilarious if it was.
Yeah. I love people. Yeah, you like peanut butter? Yeah, it's not funny.
Yeah, no, because it will kill me. Like, you're so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, for people that don't know, it's fine, but
you know what?
That just
but if you're
forget all the time.
Even if you don't know, just I'm ashamed because you don't know. You should know.
Well, now if we know.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows.
Well, now we know. Yeah, exactly. Now everybody knows.
The more you know.
I'm always curious as to like how people come up with their names, you know?
Yeah.
You know.
So let's actually kick this episode off with a bit of good news, at least from like our 3 perspectives, I think.
Heck yeah.
Former bench boss for the Capitals, the Minnesota Wild, and the Anaheim Ducks, Bruce Boudreau, is going to be behind the bench yet again. Not in the NHL, however. He will be, Team Canada announced that he will be in charge of their staff at the 2023 Spengler Cup in Davos, Switzerland.
Ooh,
so he is heading up Team Canada.
That's exciting.
Canada.
Yes.
Canada.
He is currently being a senior advisor for the Niagara Ice Dogs of the OHL. But this will actually be Boudreau's official debut as an international coach, because he wasn't able to attend the 2021 Channel 1 Cup or the Spengler Cup, despite having been invited as an assistant coach at the time.
Right.
So this is his first since he left the Canucks in January of 2023, which boo that whole situation. If you are not familiar with that situation, I say left because I'm going to pretend that it was his choice. And he was like, fuck you.
Even though now they're good.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just such
if
a
you're not familiar
with
that, with that whole situation, though, go back and watch our fucking podcast because we had a whole episode about it.
Go watch our 3 or 4 weeks it was like almost a month and a half's worth of.
We were all very heated for a long time about it.
It's literally
but there is one where it's something
Boudreaux,
it's titled.
And then
I was gonna say we titled it about Boudreaux, so it's easy to find.
Because we all cussed out the fucking Vancouver Canucks franchise.
Yeah, and it wasn't like I get
the whole organization
for replacing coaches and like we've talked about that and we'll talk about it again this week.
Don't be shitty about it.
I get that. Yeah, you just don't have to be an asshole to a guy that literally like will give you the coat off of his back if he needs to. Like he's just a gem of a human.
Just such a sweetheart.
I was about to say he's a national treasure, and he is, but he's Canadian, so he's not technically our national treasure.
He's an international
like
treasure.
The National Treasure League of the NHL, or Treasure League.
So
that would be hilarious to me. Okay.
Right.
a league of all the national treasures, and they just like celebrity death match each other.
And then
That would
you
be
have to, and
awesome.
then the winner
Anyway.
gets to steal the Declaration of
Yeah,
Independence
Right.
yeah,
From Nick
exactly.
Cage, not
from Nick
from
Cage.
it
Yeah,
hasn't been
not from
returned.
anywhere else. It's
It's still
from
at
Nick
Nick Cage's
Cage.
house.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Nick
You know
Cage is
damn
on another
well.
level when he's in character.
Oh,
Oh
man. You
god.
think it was well, like, protected when it was at the
I
museum? Hell no, Nick Cage's
no.
No, when
house,
Nick
that
Cage is a
is
character, goddamn.
damn.
I used to underappreciate Nick Cage when I was younger, and
Everyone
I
Oh,
loves
he
spent
still
a lot
has
of
Nick
years.
some
Cage.
terrible movies.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
we
Right,
can we can
but
call a spade a spade a spade. You know
yeah.
what I
right,
mean?
But he
He
still
still has
has
but
some
some
there are
awesome
installments,
times.
movies.
but he has great movies, yeah.
Right.
So Boudreaux will be coaching alongside Larry Mitchell, Jim Playfair, and Jeff Tomlinson. Mitchell is the interim head coach of the EHC Cloton in the Swiss National League. Wow, that's a mouthful. Um, Playfair is an associate coach with the Prince George Cougars of the WHL, and Tomlinson is a senior advisor with the EHC Cloton. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, so apologies to the Swiss National League. Send me a DM and tell me how to pronounce your fucking team. The Spengler Cup is is an annual invitational tournament held in Davos in Switzerland and is hosted by the HC Davos every year. Both club and national teams participate in the tournament, with Team Canada finishing on top, the most out of any participant with 16 wins.
Because we're shocked to hear that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But just where Brucey has been since the last time we really spoke about him, he's been an analyst on the NHL Network, filmed a TV commercial, which we did also talk about on this podcast. If you want to hear about it, go back and find whatever episode that was in. Made an appearance on the WWE show as a tag team manager, which we also did talk about on this podcast.
Which
Go
was
back and find
epic. Yeah, that shit was
whatever episode
epic.
that's in. That was so good.
We love Bruce.
And he is also an owner of the Hershey Cubs, where he resides full time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. But yeah, we love Bruce, and we want to give him a shout out for being head coach again, this time for an international invitational
Heck yeah.
tournament with Team Canada. So shout out to Brucey. Let's see. Chris,
Yes.
you want to make fun of me for spelling someone's name wrong and then give us the actual update on that player?
Yes, the Tartar trade.
The Tartar trade.
Tuna. Yeah, we hold on. I didn't know we were having tuna
I'm
tartar.
gonna blame autocorrect.
Uh,
I'm gonna blame autocorrect for sure.
You know what? Now we have to have tartar one of these days. Just because.
It'll be like an exclusive.
Tartar?
It'll be an
tartar.
exclusive
Yeah.
joke to us.
Right.
So the Colorado Avalanche made a trade with the Seattle Kraken the other day. The Colorado Avalanche will receive a 2024 fifth-round pick, and in return, the Seattle Kraken get a one Thomas Tatar. I don't know. I think that's a decent trade. Tatar hasn't been lighting it up as of recently.
He has 9 points in 27 games.
Yeah.
1 goal, 8 assists.
Yeah, it's been definitely a rough couple of years for him. He's never been a spectacular player, but he's always been a very solid, good player.
Right, reliable.
Yeah, I know in 2 games he's already got 2 points. He's got a goal and an assist with the Kraken. So that's good production right away. I'd say that's a good move. He was obviously underperforming, so Colorado getting at least a pick out of that, and Seattle not wasting a huge pick on a veteran presence. I mean, Tatar's 33.
Yeah.
So, he's probably got, I'd say 4, 5 more years of like top production, if not less.
Yeah.
So let's hope this new change of scenery is kind of what helps spark him a little bit.
Yeah. I agree. I think he had said it's a great opportunity for him to restart.
And there's
Which
a
I think
lot of
is
young
kind of what we're
talent over
showing that he
there.
did. Yeah.
There's a lot of young
And
talent over
sometimes
there.
that's kind of what people need, is like maybe they're feeling like they have nothing left to give to a team.
Yeah.
And so going somewhere where they can be a leader, maybe not a producer on ice, but at least a leader in the locker room, is like just what they need for that mindset switch to get them back into
Right.
being a valuable asset
Well,
on the
'cause you
on the
got guys like
ice.
Jared McCann and Matty Beniers and Shane Wright that are
Right.
over there, that all of these very young minds that someone
Mhm.
who's had the length of career that Thomas Tatar has had. I mean, he got drafted in 2010, so that's a nice
Oh, yeah.
13-year career in the NHL, so, um,
Yeah.
I'd say this is a good move. I'm happy for Seattle, so I'm hoping that this
Agreed.
helps pick up their offensive production a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking actually of young talent, that kind of brings us into our next topic, which is also you.
It
We have the
is.
World Juniors happening, right now, right? They started
No. So they start next week, actually. They start
oh,
on the
yeah, I read that
26th
as a
of
16.
December. That's okay.
Mhm.
26th of December, we get the start of the World Junior Championships. It is being held in Norway this year. Or I'm
Ooh,
sorry, Sweden. Sweden this year.
okay.
It'll take place from December 26th through January 5th. So we
Wow.
have should be 16 teams. I wish I knew how to count. I know I went to public school, guys.
Same.
Went to public
Right?
school. I know the
Fair.
US is in Group B, which is alongside the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Switzerland, and Norway. Group A consists of Canada, Sweden, Finland, Germany, Latvia. Um,
Okay.
obviously, obviously, we're gonna have the US and Canada on opposite sides. That was your gold medal game
Yeah,
last year. Um,
right.
with the obvious being Canada coming out on top
Right.
because Connor Bedard.
Well, they don't have Connor this year,
They
so
don't.
because
They
he's too busy
don't.
being an NHL superstar, you know?
Yes. Yes. So the US's first game is against Norway at 11 a.m. It'll be on Tuesday the 26th. Canada's first game is against Finland at 8:30 a.m. All of these can be found on NHL Network and TSN, which means your boy ain't gonna get to fucking watch the World Juniors unless I can find some way to get the NHL Network. That's the one
Fair.
shitty thing about YouTube TV. No NHL
Yeah.
Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
I
That
do
does
have friends in the area that are big hockey fans, and I know that are excited and they have it, so I'll probably just go bum it off of them.
There you go.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. We'll
I don't
see.
know.
It should be an interesting matchup for a
I
lot of
feel like
these.
it's gonna be unfair because every year you're gonna say the U.S. or Canada, but like,
Mhm.
don't sleep on Latvia. Last year they played
Yeah.
real well as Finland. So,
Mhm.
like, I'm not saying that the US and Canada are going to get like upset crazily. It's not
No.
outrageous to see either of those teams lose. There's a lot of great young talent throughout the world. So,
Right.
um I don't
Obviously,
think
we are
anything's
missing
guaranteed.
true. And, it should be noticed that Russia is also, banned from
Of
international
course,
play
yes.
currently
Yes.
because they are still doing
What they're doing.
Russia shit.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not being mentioned as another top team because otherwise, that they are
Russia would be up
consistently
there, yeah.
yeah,
Right.
right. It's always a battle.
Um
But it still should be really good hockey. So if you have, NHL Network or TSN, specifically TSN 3, as I feel
well,
like that's what a lot of them
it's
are on.
between both.
Oh, I was seeing a lot
But
of TSN 3s on when I was looking up earlier, but,
yeah,
yeah,
there's
TSN
a
or
bunch
TSN 3,
there,
then
kind of a mix.
yeah, then watch it. It's a good chance to see names that you're gonna see in the draft in just a
The future,
few
yeah,
short
future stars.
months and years.
And
So,
it's
it's
great
a really cool
hockey.
opportunity.
It is, if
Yeah.
you guys have ever watched the World Juniors before, like, it's genuinely
Mhm.
great hockey. Um,
Right.
very entertaining. I always look forward to the tournament every year. So we'll
I
see.
am curious yeah, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do about, like, neck protection this year at
I believe it's
IIHF.
mandatory.
I believe it's
Yeah.
mandatory,
I
right?
believe it's
So I'm
mandatory.
curious to see,
Yeah.
how much that's been stuck to because we talked about on our show,
Right.
after that incident happened with Adam Johnson's
Yeah.
passing, and some players have stuck to wearing their neck gear,
I was
and
just
some players
thinking that
haven't.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, I
I'm
think
sure
it's
it takes some
mandatory,
getting
but
used to
it
for,
does.
you know, wearing it every game.
Well, so Wayne Gretzky,
I'm sure in the coming years we'll see more and more of it.
Well, Wayne Gretzky brought up a very good point, and he had said all through youth hockey, all the way up through like high school into college, you have to wear that anyway. So the only thing when it comes to like playing professionally or any of that is you just have the option to not wear it anymore. So like, why?
Well, but if you
why
played
take
a
it
while in the league without it, it would be hard, I think, to go back to it. You know, but like these younger guys that are just coming into the league,
these younger guys shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah, shouldn't have as much of a deal with it. But yeah, I'm sure it would be a difficult thing to go back to after 5-10 years playing hockey. Like
right, yeah,
yeah. But
yeah, we'll see. It should be fun.
Yeah,
it'll be good, and we'll keep you updated too. This is we're no longer gonna call it Bedard Watch like we did last year because obviously he's not playing in these games anymore. But we will still keep y'all updated with what's happening with the World Juniors as the weeks go on. Because like I said, it starts next week and then goes through the first week in January. So
yeah,
it'll be a fun little update for you.
Plenty of time to watch some good ass hockey over your Christmas break.
Yeah,
absolutely. This actually, I think, brings us to like our most upsetting topic. I don't even know if it's upsetting, but it's just maybe controversial, I guess.
That's a good segue into future.
We've had like a lot of things happen this year with coaches. So, Danger, you want to walk us through where we stand with coaching around the league?
We can. I did have a question. Like, there was a couple other just fun, quick things I was going to mention, and then do we want to put coaches after that, since it's question of the week?
Yeah,
sure.
Like, it's just a couple, like the Marchenko's, natural hat trick and stuff. So, okay. So we'll just cut that bit out, and then, so yeah.
Do you want to just do you want to just reintroduce it?
We could.
This way, yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, okay.
So this way
I thought that would be a better segue
cut.
than like talking about coaches and then do a couple of fun things and then coming back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Okay, so I'll let you reintroduce it.
Absolutely. Danger, you have some interesting stats and fun facts for us, I believe,
just
right?
a couple of fun things.
Yeah,
little tidbits.
And of course a little tiny tidbit about at least my favorite goalie at the time, but Marc-Andre Fleury. We as in the Wild, I'm part of the team. We're recently back in Pittsburgh. I've never been there, but Fleury was back in Pittsburgh. And he, before the game, apparently snuck into the Pittsburgh locker room and switched out Chris Letang's helmet for the visiting helmet.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Letang, I guess it didn't register with him and almost wore it out on the ice. Their equipment manager had to stop him for warm-ups, but he would have gotten fined. And I didn't realize he would have gotten fined had he wore it out on the ice. But there's a great picture of him sitting in his little locker area with the white helmet and his home jersey and stuff on.
And he probably didn't think anything of it.
No, not at all. Why would you? You just put on what's in your
whatever's
locker.
there. You trust that
if he had gotten fined,
Yeah.
Fleury would have felt real bad and paid.
Oh
that.
yeah, Fleury would have. Fleury would have paid.
That's
him.
his buddy. He wouldn't fuck his friend over.
No.
But so we love a good Fleury prank.
True.
He did say, like, the fans, I guess, because Gus started that game for us. And the fans were making their opinion very well heard, as we well know the NHL fans can do.
Especially the Pittsburgh
just
fans.
Screaming, just screaming, we want Fleury. And he apparently didn't like hearing it. He said, I wanted us to win and our guys to do well, right? That's always most important. But still, I'm looking for the right word. It's weird, but it was a good feeling. Like, so he liked it, but it was hard for him to then focus on
because he's a good teammate. And he wanted Gus to do good.
That's really kind of shitty, like, for fans to be screaming that. Like, I think it's not disrespectful, but it's like distasteful.
Yeah.
Because you're basically saying, like, we don't give a fuck about this other dude who also gets paid a shit ton of money to, you know what I mean?
Right. And Gus is not a sloppy goal. Like, he can be. Like, anybody can. But Gus has definitely become our starter.
Right.
But so, like, I get showing love to him, but I get Fleury's opinion too of like, hey, during the game, I didn't want to hear it, like, because it was too distracting.
I understand that, but also, like, when you think about the city of Pittsburgh and what the name Marc-Andre Fleury means to that city.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I understand why because he's always cheered in that building anytime he comes back, because he's beloved.
Right. Well, and he's been cheered basically every city he goes to that he's played in this year.
Oh, they love him.
He gets cheered by the fans, and because they know it's most likely his last season. And so, like, every city he's been going to, like, they're treating him like this is our last chance to say goodbye to you, and that's fine.
Like, I see both sides, but I mean, I feel like it was pretty harmless, but like, I get where it would be like, this is kind of like, still
maybe during warm-ups or something instead of like the entire game,
it's definitely
Mike
harmless.
Sullivan did have a great quote too. And he just said, he's a popular guy with his teammates and his coaches. He was a very popular guy with the fan base here in Pittsburgh. Flowers' body of work speaks for itself. He's a Hall of Famer in my book. He was a huge part of the core here that built that tradition of excellence that exists today, which I think is a huge compliment to Fleury.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who says he's not a Hall of Famer is wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
at this point is like, okay, what team is he going to like go into the Hall of Fame as, like, or retire
Pittsburgh.
with?
I hope he signs a one day and retires as a Penguin. Like, I hope so, at least.
I kind of hope so, but I also really like him, and I'd love for him to retire a Minnesota Wild player. But I get if he signs with them.
That's how it was with Ryan Miller. When Ryan Miller retired, he ended up, I thought he would retire a Duck, but he signed a one-day deal to retire as a Sabre, which is awesome.
Right. But yeah, like in that night, Gus, and apparently Gus was a Penguins prospect, which I didn't know.
He was,
but he was on a winning streak. Gus had won 3 games in a row, so I get them, wanting to put Fleury in tonight with Boston versus Pittsburgh, and
well, in the Pittsburgh game, it wasn't like it was a bad game.
Here is the other kind of shitty thing that happened was apparently the fans booed when Gus's name was read. Starting lineup, and that's not
I don't
okay.
like that.
I mean, like,
I get loyalty to a player, but that's not kosher. That's
not at the
tasty.
sake of saying boo to a player who, like, it'd be one thing if they're doing that to what's his face that had so many issues last year, Bennington, because like,
or
he's just been an
Matt
asshole.
Murray comes back,
my mom, Matt Murray. My mom,
like, that'd be one
the other day sent me the Fleury wanting to fight Bennington clip again. It was one of my favorites.
We all know Fleury would have whooped his ass.
Oh yeah, but and like in the clip you can hear him because he was mic'd up that game. He goes, "No, it'll be fun. No, like
it'll be fun.
Like it'll get the crowd going."
Yeah.
Only person on the planet.
He always wants to fight somebody. Let me fight him.
Right.
The only person on the planet that'll be like, "Let's fight. It'll be fun."
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Gus did say afterwards it was a little awkward. It is what it is. The coach told me to play, so I showed up and I did my job. Which is fair. There's also a really cute picture. Of a little girl next to Fleury on the bench, and her sign said, "My middle name is Fleury." And once somebody told Fleury about her side, and they were literally like on either side of, the player's bench glass. And so he, I think, threw a puck or a stick or something over to her. But I'm like, that was so, she was like 4. She was just freaking adorable.
That's adorable.
So, love Flower, love his crazy antics he gets up to. Love to hear about any prank he pulls.
We are all very much so members of the Marc-Andre Fleury fan.
Yeah. Not everybody, he's not for everybody.
That's fine. But like, if you ignore the fact that he is without question a future first ballot Hall of Famer, then you are.
I mean, don't
hot.
get me wrong. I used to hate him because he's so damn good. Like, I hated when we went up against Fleury and that. Like, but now he plays for us, and he's got just such a fun flair to the game too.
Right.
But, and then something that doesn't happen very often happened tonight as well, in Columbus. But Marchenko got a natural hat trick, which is just kind of a cool little thing. So three goals in a row.
Also, how about your boy Kirill Kaprizov Getting the OT winner
Yeah,
against the
winning
Bees.
goal and
Yeah.
after we got beat up the first
Those
few
3
periods of the
periods,
game.
yeah.
I didn't watch all of the game, but I kind of caught snippets here and there as my grandma was watching it. She hasn't finished it yet, so she doesn't know that they've won. But
Spoiler
she's
alert.
yelling at the TV as we record this. But she's like, I guess 2 or 3 players have got off the ice so far tonight, hurt. So
Always
Sounds about
rough.
right.
hate to see that, but
Yeah.
and I love that Kaprizov. He's had a bit of a rough start to the season.
Right.
Or
It's been
so
a
other
very
fans
slow
say, but
start.
I look at it and I
Especially for
go,
him, it's
every
been
team
slow.
out there goes to cover him, double or triple team sometimes, so it's hard for him to get the opportunities to score.
Right.
Because and he's still, I mean, Evanson, after he was let go, did say he is still recovering from an injury from last season. He got pretty significantly hurt. So,
Right.
we just can't expect it. That doesn't mean he's a wash up or like, oh, we shouldn't have it. Like, no, there's so much shit that some fans say in the Facebook groups I'm in, and I know boo Facebook, but
it's because it's a what have you done for me lately?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now,
People don't look at
or
the
at
big
least
picture. They just look
yeah.
at right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
oh, is it time for this? It's like, no, relax, guys. It's not
People
time
love
for
to
people to fucking retire.
catastrophize. Yeah, because
Right.
we're having that conversation with Ovi right now in our fan groups as
Yeah.
well, because he's gone 13
Yeah.
games without
Right.
scoring a goal.
And this is
In
something
those
we were
13
literally
games,
talking
he's
about before.
still
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
in
still
those
getting
13 games,
assists.
he's still getting
Yeah, Thrill was
assists.
like that too.
It's so whatever it is, like, I don't think it's fair to be like, "Oh, well, 13 games,
Well,
he's fucking done. He's just
Yeah.
retired
like
at
we
this point."
said
It's like,
last week too.
dude.
Yeah. Well, and I hate when they say that about older players too. Like Fleury
Yeah,
loses a game and it's, oh, we should get rid of him.
we
He's
should
too
get
old to
yeah,
play hockey. Blah blah blah. It's like, no, he lost a game. Like the entire game cannot rest on one player's shoulders. And
Right.
especially not the goalie. I know the goalies are the quick like one to throw under the bus.
but
But
defense
if
had to
their
let them down
defense
in
isn't
order for
there,
that.
yeah.
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 Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, and like the thing with
goalies can only
Ovechkin
see him do so much.
is like, has he slowed down? Yes, he is 38 years
Yeah.
old. This season has
Yeah.
started off
Right.
slower than anything. But is it time
Yeah.
for him to hang up the skates? Probably not, because
No.
he's still got
No.
12 assists. Like, that's
Mhm.
production. You're still getting
Right.
OV
Yeah.
production, so he's not scoring
Right.
30 fucking goals in the
Yeah.
first third of the
That
season.
just shows too that
Okay.
he's more willing to pass the puck than try to get the goal himself, which has
Right.
always been the way he's played.
Well, it's always been the
But
question.
there are
Is
some
he's
players
always
out
been
there.
the
Right.
shoot
Yeah.
first kind of guy. It's like, can he be
Right.
the pass first guy? And I wonder
Right.
if
But
this
I
year is
think
we're starting to
he's
see
just
them
matured
transition
to that point.
harder into being
Well,
kind of a
so
more
Yeah.
balanced.
what I would argue with that is not this is when we're seeing him transition into being more balanced. We are seeing a system that's set up where he is getting the puck less often, right? They
Right.
are
Right.
prioritizing other players just taking the shot. However, he does pass. It's just that his passes have not always been to a player who connects with the goal.
Connects, yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we have
Yeah,
had,
which can't
even though we've
be
had a
his
shitty
fault.
ass season, we've had people producing. Connor McMichael has been really on fire for us as a young player, and I've loved
Yeah.
his growth since Laviolette has left the system. Anthony Mantha hired a sports therapist and is finally fucking scoring goals again, which is incredible. And again, we love to see people work through whatever issues they have
Yeah.
and come back
Yeah.
better
It's
than ever.
Well,
it's
and
allowing
sometimes it's a
OV
mental
to
block
not
thing too,
be
and
the only thing.
yeah.
You know, that's the biggest
Right.
thing, is
Right.
it's allowing him to not be the only guy scoring every
Carrying
game.
a franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which you
Right.
that's
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
it's not feasible. You
And
can't
that's too
do
much
it.
for any one person
No.
to do. Yeah.
Look at
It's not fair
Toronto.
to anybody.
Austin
Mhm.
Matthews
Yeah.
and Connor McDavid are two very much so like big representations of what happens when you put all of your shit on one team. Look at Edmonton.
Right.
Everyone
Yeah.
was blaming McDavid.
Yeah.
If you look at
Yeah.
Toronto, who's the only one really producing every year? It's
Yeah.
Austin Matthews. Like, they have amazing talent on that team. You've got John Tavares, you've got Mitch Marner. Like, those guys, that
Right.
team can
Right.
get it done. It's just like it's put on one person. And that's not
Which is
fair,
what I've
especially not to Ovi,
Right.
you know.
And that's what I've
Right.
said for so
Right.
long. Like Ovi obviously has produced. He's super close, like 60 some odd points away from Gretzky's record.
Right.
And he went how many years without a Stanley Cup? Because he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
putting on up that much point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the
Right.
team just wasn't there to help carry the rest of it. If your team is not carrying the rest of that weight, you can put up thousands of fucking points. I mean,
Right.
obviously he
Yeah,
has
absolutely.
1,500 points, and it
Yeah.
won't mean a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing around the league,
Exactly.
with other star players as
Exactly.
well. Which is again what I hope doesn't happen to Connor, because
Right.
he's doing
Right.
really, really well. But if the rest of his team
Yes.
isn't there to back him, then he's not going to bring them the success that they want.
Very
Yeah.
So,
true. Very
And
yeah,
true.
we all know Chicago's not known for backing their players
yeah,
when they need it.
I don't know, man. Patrick Kane got into some big trouble and they had his back. So
Yeah, let me
yeah,
rephrase. As
but
of late, and look at what they did to
and then they
Kane
just
last season.
well, I mean
yeah,
they
Bye.
traded
See
him.
ya.
It wasn't it wasn't a
Yeah,
shitty
but
way that they got rid of Patrick Kane. Jonathan Taves was shitty, but
oh,
yeah,
like
Taves. Sorry,
yeah.
sorry. It was Taves that I'm thinking
Yeah.
of, not
I was going
Kane.
to say they
Yeah,
just traded
I'm
Patrick
sorry.
Kane.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was Taves. I
and
forgot.
it worked out actually. He
But
did really well in New York, but
yeah.
yeah, he's doing well.
There are rumors though that the NHLPA is looking into filing a grievance for Corey Perry's release.
yep, I heard that too.
Ooh,
Yep. So we'll keep an eye out for that
Cuz it's
to
not
see
even
what
him.
happens
It's
there.
the
interesting.
Players
The
Association. I was like,
Yeah, the Players
"Hold on
Association was
now.
like, you know what? I don't care if
Hold,
he's not mad at it. We're fucking
hold
mad at
on."
it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we have a conversation about this.
Right.
Right.
Which
Right.
from what I know, there's nothing concrete about it, but I have a feeling that it's more to do with the how it all
Yeah.
happened,
Not the why, it's the
Yeah.
how.
and not the why. And that's why what
Right.
they're gonna go after.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
again, they kind of made him the scapegoat.
Oh yeah.
And we don't know what the
100%.
situation was, but they made him the scapegoat.
They made him a scapegoat,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
because of who he
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Right. Well, speaking of
Yeah. Yeah. Some
some tensions
firings
around
and
the league.
movement, and
Yeah, firing and
that's a
movement.
great.
Yeah.
Um, we alluded to it earlier. We talk about it, every week. But another coach got fired. Monday, yesterday, right?
Yeah.
DJ Smith of the Ottawa Senators was fired as head coach, and his assistant coach Davis Payne.
Mhm.
Are you guys surprised that he was
No.
let go? No.
I mean,
I am
no.
and I'm not at the same time. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
because of
tough.
how they've produced,
Right.
Ottawa's
but
also
it
11 and
kind of still
15.
felt like it came out of nowhere. And before we started, I kind of noticed this and was making a joke about it, but they did hire this new senior advisor, Jacques Martin, or Martin, maybe, I don't know, but as senior advisor to the coaching staff, and he was hired on December 6th. And
Not even
so
2
it's just
weeks later.
interesting,
Yeah.
that all of a sudden, like, your head and assistant coaches are both fired. And so, and the joke I was making, for those of you that are maybe curious, was just like, oh, that's sus, like, and because he's the interim head coach, like, boy, did you
Mhm.
just want to be a head coach? And I'm
Right.
sure that's not what it is, but it's very interesting that somebody comes in and 2 weeks later, just off the bat, fires your head and
Yeah.
assistant coach.
That you're the advisor, and then
Um,
suddenly it's like, "I advise you
yeah,
to let this man go."
yeah, and I'll step in for him,
I
no big
mean,
Yeah.
deal. But
I can understand it though because like
oh,
this
I
is
can
not
too. I mean, if
like
you're going to hire an advisor for coaching staff, you
yeah.
want them to advise you on what to do.
Right.
But
Not only
um,
that, but like I feel like we could see the writing on the wall after last year. Um
yeah,
a
Yeah.
lot of hype was made
with them being
with all
sold,
the
and yeah,
off-season signings. And we all expected them to do better than they did, and they were fucking
Right.
awful. Obviously,
yeah,
they've since made a lot of changes goaltending wise. They
yeah,
offloaded Alex DeBrincat
Right.
um, to try to see if they could do anything. I do think it's real fucking cool that Daniel Alfredson, Ottawa Senators legend, is one of
Mhm.
the is now on the coaching staff. I think that's very
yeah,
full circle,
Yeah.
considering
yeah,
he didn't even play his last season there. He played his
Right.
right,
last season in Detroit, but his entire career was with Ottawa. So I think that's real cool that he's
right,
back.
Right.
Hopefully he
yeah,
can help,
yeah,
especially hopefully he can help get that defense to where they need to be.
Yeah.
right, right.
That's my hope
Smith,
for Alfredson.
right. Smith was 131, 154, and 32 in 317 regular season games. After being hired on May 23rd, 2019. So he wasn't. I mean, 4 years with the team, three and a
Yeah,
half, 4 years,
that's a decent
whatever that
amount.
equals out to. Yeah, it's a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Similar time frame. I think that Evanson might have been 5 years.
Mhm.
It was like 4 or 5, something like that. So, that kind of seems to be. It's almost like when they say in marriage is like you get the 7-year itch.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
like a 5-year itch in coaching. It's kind of like
Yeah.
you kind of need to put up or shut up as a coach,
Pretty
Right.
much, yeah.
if you want to keep your job. But Smith. Oh yeah, and 2 months ago, their general manager was also relieved of
Mhm.
his duties.
Yes.
So they are really
Yeah.
making not only changes on the ice, but office changes too,
Right.
which, but we have to look at it too. Like they did just get a new owner. So maybe this is coming from way high
From
up too.
way
It's
up.
it's hard to
Yeah.
know. But Smith is the 4th NHL coach this season to lose their job. He joins
Yeah.
that club of Jay Woodcroft from the Oilers, Dean Evanson of the Minnesota Wild, and Craig Berube of the St. Louis Blues.
And technically 5th,
I was gonna say
if
technically
you count
5.
Babcock of the
Yeah.
Columbus Blue
Who
Jackets being
lasted
fired
2
literally,
Yeah,
like,
weeks into the
right
fucking
before the
2
off
season
days
season.
started. Yeah.
before
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
before
That's
preseason
right.
game.
Yeah.
But
So,
officially, he didn't coach a regular season game, so they're only counting the 4. But if you think
and
about it,
Babcock was
it's
just
5.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was also a situation, not so much of his coaching
Coaching, no.
antics and styles. It was who he
It
was
was
as a
everything
human
else.
being.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
those where we all
It
saw the
wasn't a failed
signing.
system. Yeah.
Everyone
Yeah,
freaked out, and
yeah.
then we're like,
His
"Wait, wait,
coaching was
wait.
one of
Well,
the
let's see what
good things that he was
happens."
doing in his life. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all took
but
bets.
yeah,
Yeah, we did. And he
um,
didn't even make preseason, so
No,
yeah.
none of us
So
lasted. None of
no.
us
no,
bet that he would be fired before
no,
the season actually started.
no, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Like I thought it would be, mid-season about now, and about now
Right.
is when you really start to see the uptick. Mid-season, we're all,
Right.
almost halfway there. Like,
Well, so let's
um,
talk about that. That's actually kind of leads into our question of the week, which
I
is
did just want to say
yeah.
one quick thing. Is this last statistic about it? But as we know, Ottawa is last in the Atlantic Division, but they also haven't qualified for playoffs since 2017. So that also is
Yeah.
probably a big push as to why.
Yeah.
That's a long time to not even make it to a playoff run.
Yeah. They've been real
I don't
bad.
even know if they've been close all that
No.
often. So,
No.
Yeah.
but yeah. So go ahead. Sorry to cut you off there, but.
It's okay. So we are like 2 months into the season. We're not even like really a third of the way through, technically, I don't
Not
think.
quite.
Um, and we've already had 4 to 5 coaches firings. Do we think that this is too soon to see this many firings, or do we think that teams are just being proactive and trying to change things up before they dig too deep of a hole? Chris, let's start with you.
I mean, if you're losing already this early into the season and it's not good, why not? If
Yeah.
if you're in your first couple seasons with a coach, or you've
Mhm.
had this coach for 5 or 6 years, and you guys the first few years you had good success, and then it starts snowballing, and then it starts snowballing even more. Um at some point you have to just, rip it off like a band-aid and start new. Or you
Right.
also like or you could go the alternate way and try to stick it out and see if the coaches can turn it around. But I feel like in the case that they've set for themselves, all these teams this year, like, I understand why Evanson got fired. The team
Right.
hasn't gone far in the playoffs the past few years. I understand. Craig Berube, I understand.
Forever.
Dude, St. Louis sucks. Let's be
Yeah.
honest with ourselves.
Right.
The
Yeah.
Oilers, something needs to happen there. I don't know what needs to happen. Something needs to happen there, because that team, who has been
Yeah.
a force the past few years, is
Not finishing.
no, they're not even starting. That's the problem. And then in
Yeah.
the case of Ottawa, Ottawa's been bad for a couple years, and they're trying to get a new regime, and there's so much expectation, especially with having,
Mhm.
Brady Tkachuk. Like, there's something there, and you need to make that change sometimes. I also see on the
Yeah.
other side where you look at like we talked, ironically, we talked about last week, the Penguins and Kyle Dubas having Mike Sullivan's back. Mike
Right.
Sullivan comes off of a bad year, yes, but he also comes off of 6 years prior making the playoffs and winning 2 fucking Stanley Cups. So
Mhm.
like it's a hit or miss thing. So far what we're seeing is I think this is just par for the course of teams trying to figure out who they are.
Right. That's fair. Um, Danger, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's too soon. I think a lot of the firings were kind of written in the sand last year,
Mhm.
and so I'm not overly surprised by it. Um and yeah, I mean, otherwise I agree with a lot of what Chris said, but yeah, it's just it's hard to know, but like there's nothing wrong with it. You know, if it
Mhm.
was the first week, I'd be like, that might be a little
Yeah,
soon,
it's a little
but
soon, but like we're a
like, at
quarter of
that
the way
point,
through the
like,
year.
fire them in the off
Right.
season and get a new
Yeah.
coach in there for practices and stuff. But at this point, you gotta find somebody that, is gonna work well,
Mhm.
and Chris and I were kinda talking about this the other day too, but, like, as far as the Wild go, you know, we are seeing a little bit of kickback, reportedly, and I don't know if it's true, that, Pat Maroon has asked
Mhm.
potentially to be traded.
Right. I saw
He
that.
and Hines don't really see eye to eye on like Hines' coaching style and
Mhm.
Maroon's playing style. I'd be sad to see him go. I hope Maroon sticks out the rest of the season, so he's with us at least a full season. But
Right.
again, I understand if that's not it, you got to go where you're going to be comfortable and be able to play at your best. But
Right.
Yeah.
uh,
That's fair. Yeah, I
So,
think
you know, it'll be interesting to see, sorry, if just
yeah,
any other things along that nature happen from some of these coaching changes.
yeah. I think so my feelings are somewhat complicated, in the sense that for these coaches, I don't think it's too early. I think that most of them have been in their positions for 4 and 5 years, and they can't get anything going, and it's, more systemic than what we've got going on. I do think that there are situations wherein, and we've seen this with all of our teams, basically, where you have a really bad streak of players getting injured, of, just unlucky bounces,
Yeah.
and it's not due to the players not playing hard enough. It's just, the nature of luck and fate in sports, right?
Yeah.
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 And sometimes I do think that that's thrown at the feet of the head coach, which is why with the whole Dubas and, Sullivan situation, it was kinda nice to see, Sully being backed up.
Yeah.
Because while people are calling for his head, they're like, "Well, hold on, that might just be a little premature." Like,
It's
again,
yeah, it seems a bit
things can happen that
excessive.
aren't right, exactly, and so I think that there are situations wherein firing them not even a quarter or a third of the way through the season is like, you really should give it more time because sometimes it just takes warming up, you know what I mean? But
Right.
when you
Yeah.
are on
Right.
year 5 of
Yeah.
never getting warmed up and
Yeah.
never being able to finish, then you need to look at, in my opinion, not just a head coaching change, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
a whole staff change as well,
Yeah.
Perfect
including players,
perfect
including
example
other
is Anaheim. Dallas
yeah,
Aikens was the
Yeah.
coach for 4 years. They missed the playoffs all 4 years. Like
yeah,
first couple years, all right, new system, they're trying to go through a rebuild, understand. But like that's it. That's one of those you're like, all right, you've had your chance and
right,
you haven't done anything with it. So unfortunately, we have to go a different direction. Um and that's it's sad because sometimes it's
Yeah.
just like, well, I don't feel like they got a shot, but like at the end of the day, you also got to understand this is a very now league.
yeah,
It's players are faster, the games are
right,
faster, they're higher scoring. It's a totally, it's a game that's you got to be on it now. You
yeah,
really can't wait
Right.
until the All-Star break and try to get your season
right,
turned around second half. You need to be on the fucking pedal from your first game of the season
right,
till the last game of the season. And sometimes that's beneficial for coaches. Sometimes coaches thrive in that. Bruce
mhm,
Cassidy right now, I would say, is a very good
right,
example of that. Look at how good the Vegas Golden Knights are. um,
yeah.
but
Well, and with that, who do we think is on the chopping block next? Do we?
Good
I don't think
question.
we're
I
done
have a
seeing
list.
firings.
She's
No,
prepared.
like there was an ESPN article about it.
Yeah.
And so they're saying Pascal Vincent potentially, but Columbus is doing better now. Lindy Ruff. These are the people that under the hot in the summer.
I mean,
David
I don't.
Haxtell, Sheldon Keefe.
Haxtell already?
That's
I
what they're
mean, the
saying.
Kraken have been around for a little bit now,
2
and
years.
he's gotten them into the playoffs,
got
but they're still not performing where they need to be.
right.
Yeah, that's
So I
fair.
wouldn't
That's
be
fair.
surprised to see it. I think Pascal Vincent is a possibility only because he was hired as like a, "Oh shit, we start
Interim.
next week" kind of a thing. So they might do like an actual search depending on how well
If
Columbus
Dallas
does this
misses the
year.
playoffs, Lindy Ruff is gone.
You mean the Devils?
Oh, that's right. He's with the Devils now. Yeah. Well, if the Devils miss the playoffs, he's gone, and they're not
Yes.
looking good right now. So,
But I don't see them missing the playoffs.
And
I see
talking
them
about
not performing
passionate
well.
fans and stuff, I do think Lane Lambert might be up there too. The Islanders apparently have been screaming to fire him. The fans, that is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but they're third in the Metro. Like,
yeah, but that doesn't mean that the fans really
first.
like.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be hard because the New York Rangers are like the best team in the NHL.
The Islanders is
the other
Lambert.
one that
no, I know, but that's why I say it's hard for them to win the.
Is Mike Sullivan is on this list after Lambert,
which I think's insane. I don't think he goes anywhere.
Yeah.
But again,
I mean, this is his 9th season with the Penguins, and I think just because they're not doing what we typically expect from the Penguins, may not like. I don't think that should lead automatically to his firing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Again, I think that's more of a situation of something is happening that like is not a result of the coaching, and it's just bad bounces and things like that.
There's a lot of shit going on in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they need to figure that out. I can see Dubas going a different direction next season if they don't make the playoffs, and there's a good chance that they won't.
Yeah.
But
I think so those are the top ones on this list from ESPN.
I also think that if Brenda Moore from Carolina doesn't get like if they don't make it to Cup round, I think he might be looking for a new job too. He's been with Carolina for a few years now, and they have not. They're an incredible team, and they should have gone much farther than they did last year.
But they met the weird Cinderella story that was the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that we might see at least talks of like them looking around, and then potentially a December release for him if it doesn't change.
I think Boston looks for a new coach if they get bounced in the first round again.
Oh, hell yeah.
If they get bounced in the first round again, he's gone.
He's absolutely gone.
That's
I did find it ironic that Bruce Cassidy wins a cup right after leaving the Bruins.
Fair. I think that for the Avalanche, Bednar as well. If they don't progress further, because they were so hot, and then suddenly they took like a massive dump, and why? You know what I mean?
I know.
And I mean, high all the time.
We're only a couple years off from their championship win, so like you know.
So they shouldn't be this disappointing.
Right. A lot of it's been injury. Like I know that they have a good amount of players that are hurt, and obviously we'll talk about that in a bit here, but like big pieces are injured. So that's another thing that's not going to help at all.
True.
When your star defenseman is out and he's probably not going to come back until maybe next week. That's you need Cale Makar, man.
Yeah. Very true. So yeah, we'll see. But I think that we're not done seeing firings for this year.
No.
Not 2023, but like the 23-24 season.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, if any of you have a question for us for the question of the week, something that you've been dying to ask us, or you just really want our opinions on, we'll give it to you if you put it in the comments and tell us exactly what it is you want. And then we'll give it to you. Do we want to bring up something that we missed last November? And last November, I mean, like that was a couple weeks ago. It's not like
I was gonna say not like last year.
Right.
But Tristan Jarry celebrated for being the first. Let me rephrase that. Tristan Jarry is being celebrated for being the first Pittsburgh Penguin to score a goalie goal.
Yeah,
nice. We love a
We
goalie
love
goal.
a good goalie goal.
Yeah.
There have only been 14 coaches, 14 players, goalies, in the history of the league to ever score a goal.
Which is
but
cool.
That's like 14. It's interesting because the way that, and you got to just love how things are written, but it said 14 goalies for 17 goals. But later it says only 2 people have scored twice. So I don't understand the math.
Yeah, the math is not mathing on that.
I love that
regardless.
those two
Unless
those
Jarry is the
goalies,
15th, and there's 14 before him. In which
he
case the
is-
math would math.
Oh, that's true. But it did say as of, the 20th again. But that's all right.
Yeah.
Whatever. So
other names: Chris Osgood, Evgeny Nabokov, Cam Ward, Pekka Rinne, Linus Allmark, Mike Smith. Like, these are big name. These are good goalies of the last 20 years. You know.
Didn't Allmark get his last year?
Yeah, he did.
And the first one was like Billy Smith said of the New York Islanders was in the 79-80 season was the first goaltender to be credited with one. Because
they didn't really keep good stats.
Rob Remage of the Rockies put the puck into his own empty net. But in 86, I think this said, or 87 or something, somebody else was the first one to actually intentionally pass or score. Or, sorry, was the first one to intentionally score. But with Jarry's, he scored from his own crease. It was an empty net, but that's still impressive to make it all the way across the ice.
Counts as a shot on goal.
And not have it blocked by any other player.
Look at how long the season has been around, and to have it be, 79-80 is the first time even another player scored in their own net.
Yeah.
One of those being which is one of the, couple of ways that a goalie can score and, or a goalie can get the point for scoring.
Yeah.
Right.
But just an interesting stat. It's something that doesn't happen very often. But the first goalie to get an assist was like in 1917-18 season.
That's
so
crazy.
It's interesting to look back at. And then I just saw, for the sake of names, because we love a good hockey name around here, Tiny Thompson was the second goalie to be credited with an assist. And I think we've talked about Tiny Thompson before.
Probably.
And let me just say, he was not tiny. He was 6'5" or something, if I remember right.
That's crazy.
I love that.
But yeah, so we love a goalie goal. Just like I love goalie fights, love goalie goals.
Yes.
True. That is very true.
Yeah, so we just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
Because none of us could remember if we did forget.
Technically speaking, we've had 2 goalie goals in the same calendar year.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, because Linus Allmark was February 25th of 23.
Yeah. So we technically had 2.
And Pekka Ryan was the one before that, and that was 2020.
Wow.
I watched
and then
that
2013 was the one before that. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, if the Predators organization doesn't build a fucking statue outside of Bridgestone Arena of Pekka Rinne, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that was like his either last or his like penultimate season. Yeah, he retired in 2021. So Rinne scored his first career goal in his second to last season.
All right, well, what do you say we get into some other stars, but this time NHL's Star of the Week, which I love.
I need a graphic for this. We'll come up with one.
Yeah, eventually.
I'll make one at some point.
Anyway.
All right, so we have the NHL's 3 stars of the week this year. Jesus Christ.
This year.
This year. This week's 3rd star is Noah Dobson, who's a defenseman for the New York Islanders. He had 8 assists and a +7 rating, which ties him for first in that category for this week in 4 games to help the Islander get 3 wins out of their 4 games. Which technically that's because they have 2 outright wins, 1 loss, and then an overtime loss, which again is that tricky where it's kind of a win. Kind of.
It's
they won something.
Win.
Yeah, exactly.
Win adjacent.
So he right. He had 3 assists, including a secondary assist on Bo Horvat's overtime winner against the Toronto Maple Leafs. He then, had 2 assists in a 4-3 comeback victory over the Anaheim Ducks. Sorry, Chris. And then he did not have a point in the 5-4 shootout loss to the Boston Bruins, which again, if he had done it, then maybe it would have been a different story. And then he ended the week with, helpers on all 3 New York goals, his 3rd career 3-assist performance, which was last November, against Carolina, in a 5-3 defeat versus the Montreal Canadiens. The 23-year-old Dobson has played in 30 games so far this season, ranking 4th amongst defensemen with 5 goals and 27 assists, and top 10 among all skaters in average time on ice, 3rd with 25 minutes and 33 seconds, tied for 5th with his plus minus being plus 17, and tied for 7th with assists with a total of 27 so far this season. Shout out to Noah.
Heck yeah.
All right. Next, we have someone whose name I just love, and we'll bring that up every time. Next, our second star is Thatcher Demko, who is the
Oh, yeah.
goalie for the Vancouver Canucks. Again, just a great name.
It really
He
is.
had 89 saves against 93 shots, going 3-0 with a 1.33 goals against average and a .957 save percentage. That includes his one shootout, as they extended their point streak to 6 games. And by they, I mean the Canucks. He stopped 28 out of 29 shots, including all 18 over the final 2 periods during a 4-1 win against the Tampa Bay Lightning. He then earned his 6th career shutout with 36 saves in a 4-0 victory over the Florida Panthers, and he finished the week with 25 stops on a 5-3 triumph over the Chicago Blackhawks. Uh, so that actually boosted his league leading win total to 16, which puts him one ahead of Colorado's Alexander Georgiev and Winnipeg's Connor Hellebuck, both with 15 uh, win totals this season. The
Very nice.
28-year-old has played in 23 total games this season, compiling a 16-7-0 record to go along with 3 shutouts, tied for first in the NHL, a 2.34 goals against average, 5th in the NHL, and a .921 save percentage, 7th in the NHL. So again, incredible stats
That's
there for
yeah.
Thatcher.
And with
That's
how they've been playing,
impressive.
that's not a surprise.
Right. Yeah. And then our first star is Nathan MacKinnon, who is a center for the Colorado Avalanche.
Nate Mac.
MacKinnon
Mac Daddy.
McKinnon
Yup.
extended his
Or Mac Jesus. I don't remember which one.
he
Anyway,
extended
I don't
the
care.
NHL's longest active point streak to 15 games, recorded multiple points in all 4 games to lead the league with 3 goals and 7 assists, and helped the Avalanche post a 3-1 week. He had 1 goal and 1 assist, including the winning goal with 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in regulation, as Colorado came back from a 2-goal third period deficit for a 6-5 victory over the Calgary
Yeah.
Flames. MacKinnon then had 2 assists in each of his next 2 games, becoming the 5th player in franchise history to compile 800 points as a part of the 5-1 win against the Buffalo Sabres and assisting on both Avalanche goals in a 6-2 loss to the Winnipeg Jets. He then capped the week with 2 goals and 2 assists, his 17th career 4-point performance, to stretch his overall and season opening home point streak to 15 and 16 games respectively. And that was when Colorado earned their 6-2 win over the San Jose Sharks. The 28-year-old has the most points among all NHL players during the calendar year, with 48 goals and 76 assists for a total of 124 points in 78 games played. Currently ranks with that must have been not for this year because we have not played 78 games this year. I was like, wait, how is that possible? He's playing double time. Anyway, he currently ranks with 14 goals and 33 assists for 47 total points through 31 total appearances in 23-24. And he sits amongst the season's leaders in assists, first at 33, power play assists tied for second at 15, shots on goal third with 137, and power play points tied at 8th with 16. So congratulations to Nathan, Thatcher, and Noah for being this week's NHL 3 stars of the week.
Heck yeah. Nate
Hell
Mac's a
yes.
beast. I love watching
Yeah,
McKinnon play. He's
Yeah.
so good.
he is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Danger, do we have any naughty boys this week?
We don't actually.
What?
No
I mean, good for
suspensions,
him,
no
but bummer.
Son of
fines.
a bitch.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I hate this.
Little shocking with the way this season has gone thus
Yeah.
far, but yeah, nobody yet this week. So
Okay. I guess that
still,
brings us over into the
early,
injuries.
I guess. But yeah, for injuries, we do have quite a few.
Yeah.
So for Anaheim, we have Mason McTavish, who's out with an upper body injury, just listed as day-to-day right now. John Gibson is out with personal issues, syphilis bus. Expected to be out until at least the 21st. So it sounds
I think
like
it's a
just this
family
week.
thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Currently. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Trevor Zegras out with a lower body injury, expected to be out until at least the 21st. Jamie Drysdale. I did that last week too. Damn it. Leon Drysdale and Jamie Drysdale. Too similar, I guess, in my brain right now. Jamie Drysdale, yeah. Out with a lower body injury, also expected to be out until at least the 21st. So at least it looks like most of them are coming back this week.
I fucking Arizona, hope
so. Lord help me with this name. Vladislav Kolik.
Kolyad.
I don't know.
Knock.
Kolyakonik.
Kolyakonik. There you go.
Kazuntai. He is out with a lower body injury, expected to be out until at least the 27th of this month. Sean Dursey, also with lower body injury, expected to be out until the 21st. Travis Boyd has a pec issue, one of two that I know of. And he is out for the season. He's out until like September of next year. For Boston, we have Miljan Lukic out with an ankle injury, expected to be out until January 2nd. Derek Forbort, still undisclosed, but undisclosed injuries mean syphilis bus.
Also, Lucic probably ain't coming back because, like, he did get arrested recently, so...
Oh, that's right!
Yeah. Yeah, this hasn't updated with that information.
Lucic probably ain't gonna be back for a little bit.
I forgot that I saw that. We'll miss it.
Saturday morning.
Yeah. Indefinite leave of absence.
We'll,
we're a month, a month out from all of that going down.
Yeah, that was my son's birthday is when that was announced. That for us.
Yep.
For Buffalo, we have Jordan Greenway still out with an upper body injury. May be back this week. Says expect to be out until at least the 21st. Zygmus Gergensons.
Gergensons. It's the best name in the
out with a lower
fucking
body
world.
Injury. Sure. Expect to be out until at least the 23rd. And then Jeff Skinner is out until at least the 21st with an upper body injury.
I don't think you could play Zemgus's name in Scrabble if you were allowed to play like names and not just words.
No, that's like.
But I don't think there's enough tiles in the Scrabble kit for that to
play his
happen.
entire name, though.
No. For Calgary, we have Jacob Pelletier out with a shoulder injury. Expect to be out until at least January 2nd. Because that still feels like so far away, but it's like a week and a half.
It's not that far at all.
Yeah. For Carolina, we have Frederick Anderson out with an illness. Expect to be out until at least January 15th. So that is a while.
Yeah, I've heard good news about the blood clots. Don't know for sure what's
going on there. Hopefully.
He's the one that had the blood clots.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The blood clots.
So I've heard good news that he's doing way better and he should be back pretty soon.
Good.
Nice.
Which would contribute to Carolina's, lack of success.
Right.
Yeah.
For Chicago, and I'm not even going to try his last name, Andreas. I'm sorry. I fucked it up last week. I'll fuck it up again.
Anthony, I got you.
Thank you. I see you. Anthony, see you. I got it.
There
Okay.
it is.
I won't remember that next week, but I'm proud that I got it.
But I got
you.
I got you.
I just get too tongue twisted with some of these, like my dyslexia takes over. But it's fun, and that's why I still do it, and nobody's taking it from me. So
it's the European names that are just chaotic.
Yeah.
Right.
There's so many extra
all those
unnecessary letters.
You have
sometimes.
6 consonants in a row. What are we doing?
Yeah, like what is the point of that? Yeah. But he is out with a groin injury, but could be back as soon as the 22nd. Philip Kurashev, fuck my life up. Out with an illness, could be out until the 22nd. Seth Jones has a shoulder injury, expected to be out until at least December 27th. Alex Vlasic, upper body injury, expected to be out until the 22nd. Jared Tenorti still out with that concussion, but it looks like the update is that he may be coming back like this week or next week. So hopefully that means concussion protocol stuff is going well. Yeah. Kevin Korkinski, go with personal issues. He's expected out until the 22nd. And Joey Anderson, thank you for being an easy name. Upper body injury, expected to be out until the 27th.
Hey, Joey.
For Colorado. Hey, Joey. I'm walking here. Cale Makar is out with a lower body injury, expected to be out until the 21st. Andrew Cogliano, undisclosed, syphilis, expected to be out until the 21st. Samuel Gerard, personal issues, expected to be out until December 31st. Aturi Lekkonen has that neck injury. Oh, I'm getting into dates and people we've already talked about. Never mind. Fuck y'all.
You just wanted to say his name.
Aturi
Lekkonen. It's a fun name.
It is. And then Pavel Francouz. That's a fun name. Francouz.
Yeah, very true.
For Columbus, we have Jack Roslovic. Sure. Ankle injury, expected to be out until at least the 21st. Patrick Laney has a collarbone. Expect to be out until at least. He has two collarbones.
Well, it's nice to know that Patrick Laney
now he only has one. We don't know.
I love the question mark in my voice too.
He has a
collarbone.
He has a collarbone. What
and
a
then
freak.
The registration in my brain
Right?
of. Yeah, I know. But I'm assuming he broke or sprained. Well, yeah.
I think he broke. His
anyway, I'm sure he did.
That seems like a short
turnaround until at least the 27th. It does.
For a break, that's like not even a month.
But that's like a month and a half, because January 27th.
I don't know.
From December 18th is when it was updated, so I don't know what day he got hurt.
Okay, that's fair.
So it's probably a month and a half. 6 weeks is standard for good bone healing to at least start. And then just in case we didn't mention it last week, Boone Jenner is out with a jaw injury. I'm assuming that is also a broken jaw.
Yeah, hit with a puck in the face.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he got nailed.
Expected to be out until at least January 19th. So pretty nasty one there.
I'm like, yeah, you got hit.
For Dallas, good old Jake Ottinger, Minnesota boy, is out with a lower body injury, expected to be out until at least December 27th.
We like Jake Ottinger here.
We do like Jake Ottinger.
He's a hell of a goaltender.
He's a good goalie. I'm mad that he plays for Dallas with the way that Dallas treats Minnesota now. I'm still pissed about the playoffs. Like, last year or the year before. They're like, what has Minnesota done anyway? And I'm like, we fucking gave you the Stars, asshole. Anyway. One fan said that. Just one person. If you're listening to this, you're an asshole.
A singular person.
Yeah, just you know who you fucking are. You know who you are.
You know what you did. We gave you the Stars. Well, no. Anyway.
We didn't want to. But...
We weren't right. We didn't want to, and I just recently learned why they were brought out of Minnesota. It was basically to avoid our owner or GM, one of them, going to jail.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
There
and then
go.
what did they
That'll
do? They just moved and then won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
which to rub salt in the fucking wound.
Assholes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But,
although they shouldn't have won that Stanley Cup, but that's a whole thing for another day.
We'll do that for another episode, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll hear me rant about the fucking what it's like to have a skate in the crease.
Right. For Detroit, we have Ville Husso. I think that's how you say his name. Lower body injury, expected to be out until at least December 27th. Klim Kostin, what a great name.
Gotta love Klim.
Upper body injury. He is listed as IR as well. I haven't been listing those. I apologize. Expected to be out until the 27th. Alex Lyon. He's not lying. He's telling the truth. He is also expected to be out until the 27th.
So.
That was awful.
Could you imagine?
Thank you for laughing, though.
Just lying to your team doctors.
And lastly, Matt Luff, upper body injury. He is also listed as IR, expected to be out until the 31st of December. For Edmonton, just one guy, Dylan Holloway. lower body injury. He is listed as IR, expected to be out until at least the 28th. For Florida Panthers, we have Jonah Godovich. He is out with an illness and listed as day-to-day. And Anton Lundell also has this mysterious illness, but he is listed as IR, expected to be out until at least the 21st, which is, what, 2 days from now?
Yeah, he's out for a long time, so fuck that guy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but they're both sick.
Yeah.
They were partying too hard. Another great name for the LA Kings, we have Phoenix Copley.
I do love Copley. Former Washington Cap goalie.
Is he?
Yeah.
I like that you had to think about what team you played.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the name of my own fucking team. It's fine. You don't need to call attention to it.
Fucking name?
What is our fucking name of it? I have shit around my apartment with it on there.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
You're not wearing the jersey this week, so
right.
But Phoenix is out with an undisclosed injury or issue, expected to be out until at least January 9th, which is kind of a long time. And then not. Also, Vladislav Gavrikov. I don't know why I said it like it was a K at first. Anyway, lower body injury, IR expected to be out until at least December 20th, tomorrow. For Minnesota, these three guys break my heart. Jared Spurgeon is out with a lower body injury. Could come back this week, the 21st. He's been skating on his own and stuff. He did not go on the road trip with the guys. It was up for debate, but they decided kind of, not really last minute, but they just decided it would be better for him to just skate, practice, whatever, on his own here. This one really hurts. My man, Matt Zuccarello, is out with an upper body injury. Fucking players that hurt my boy. He is expected to be out until at least December 27th. We think it's something like in his ribs or, somewhere up in here with the way he got hit.
Oh.
And Jonas Brodin, also out with an upper body injury. He is listed as IR, though, expected to be out until at least January 2nd. For Montreal, we have Chris Weidman with a back injury, expected to be out until at least December 21st. All of the Montreal players are listed as IR, by the way. Tanner Pearson is out with an upper body injury, expected to come back on or after January 10th. And Jordan Harris, lower body injury, expected to be out until at least December 28th. For New Jersey, we have Thomas Nosek with a foot injury, expected to be out until at least December 30th. Probably not broken, but maybe fractured.
Maybe he hurt his
pinky. Or strained. He hurt his pinky toe. Oh. And Dougie Hamilton, another great name.
Shout out to Dougie Hamilton.
Yeah.
And he's been hurt for a while, but he's the other guy with the pec injury. Expected to be out until February, so that's probably a fully torn pec muscle.
Oh, yeah.
For the Islanders, we have Julien Gauthier, undisclosed. He's just listed as day-to-day. Scott Mayfield, upper body injury. And the rest of these guys are all listed as IR as well, but he could be back as soon as December 23rd. Adam Peklik, upper body, expected to be back December 27th. Ryan Pulik, lower body expected to be out until December 27th. And Matt Martin, upper body injury, expected to be out until at least tomorrow. For the Rangers, we have Philip Cheadle. Thank you. I wanted to say Keitel for a second. I was like, that's not right.
His name is also fun.
Yeah.
Cheadle.
Philip Cheadle. Expected to be out until at least December 22nd. And just because it's a fun name episode, Capo Caco. It still hurt.
Capo Caco.
That is also a great name.
I can hear my grandma watching the Wild. The other team, she just went, wow, as I hear cheers from the other team fans. For Ottawa, we have Matthew Joseph, lower body injury, expected to be out until at least December 23rd. Rourke Chartier. Sharded his pants.
Get choked all that.
Upper body injury expected to be out until at least December 23rd, and he is listed as IR. For Philly, we have Carter Hart, an illness. He's out partying with those other boys. Expected to be out until at least December 21st.
Beep, beep, syphilis.
Noah Chase. And we don't need to talk about Noah because he's been hurt for a while.
Yeah, he has.
Oh. For Pittsburgh, we have Matt Nieto.
Nieto.
Pito? Nieto.
Nieto.
There's no D.
Nieto.
Thank you. Enunciate.
Christ.
Damn it. I'm telling you to enunciate. Matt Nieto. Lower body injury listed as IR, expected to be out until at least December 27th. And Brian Rust, upper body injury, expected to be out until at least January 2nd. For San Jose, we have Ryan Carpenter, undisclosed. He is listed as IR, expected to be out until at least December 21st. Kalen Addison, recognize that name. I forgot for a second we traded him. Lower body injury expected to be out until at least December 21st. Jan Ruta, illness. Again, he was partying with those other boys. Expected to be out until at least 21st. Probably like Thanksgiving or early Christmas party. And all these guys got sick.
I think so.
We have Ty Emberson, lower body injury. He is listed as IR, expected to be out until at least December 27th. Logan Courtier? Not
Couture.
Courtier.
Couture.
It's Couture. Lower body injury listed as IR, expected to be out until at least the 21st. Nico Sturm, abdomen listed as IR, expected to be out until at least the 21st. And Matt Benning, lower body injury, listed as IR, expected to be out until at least the 21st. A lot of these happened like Tuesday and Wednesday of last week, so that's why there's a lot that are coming back like tomorrow.
Right.
For Seattle, we have Pierre-Edouard. Such a weird way to spell it. Belmer.
Pierre-Edouard.
Yeah. Lower body injury.
He's fancy.
He's very, very French. Or French-Canadian.
Fucking Ratatouille over here.
Right.
He is lower body injury listed as IR, expected to be out until at least December 27th. Justin Schultz, upper body injury listed as day-to-day. Jared McCann, lower body injury listed as day-to-day. Andrew Burkowski, undisclosed, listed as IR, expected to be out until at least December 27th. And Jaden Swartz, lower body, listed as IR, expected to be out until at least January 11th. So something relatively significant there. And Philip Bauer. I
love Ruby.
Mad at him. No, I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at the other one. Kudrovich was involved in all this shit. Anyway, lower body injury. He is also listed as IR, expected to be out until at least December 23rd. For St. Louis, we have Anton Malmstrom, undisclosed, IR, expected to be out until at least the 27th. Same thing with Josh Jacobs, undisclosed, IR, expected to be out until the 27th. Gotta love when teams don't give us any info.
Yep.
For Tampa Bay, we have Mikhail Sergachev. That was the worst way to say that name, but
you got it though.
It's right. Right. It just was like a weird hiccup in my
It was like a hooked on phonics.
Yeah, it was. Could you imagine me reading Hooked on Phonics?
I would pay for that, actually. I would genuinely pay for that.
OnlyFans.
There we go. He is out with a lower body injury listed as day-to-day. Logan Brown, undisclosed, listed as IR, expected to be out until at least the 31st. For Toronto, we have Mark Giordano.
Giordano.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. It's like the pizzas in Chicago.
Yeah.
He hurt his fingy. He's listed as IR. That's the only way to say that he has a finger injury.
Is, yeah.
He hurt his fingy.
Agreed.
Expected to be out until at least December 23rd. Big boy Ryan Reeves, lower body injury, listed as IR, expected to be out until the 23rd. And then the rest of those guys we had met. Man, they have a couple of our former players, huh?
Yeah.
Klingberg's on there too. For Vancouver, nobody knew. So I'm not even gonna say
I'm
it.
gonna say
I'm
it.
not. I
That's
was
fine.
about to, and
Even
I'm
though we
not.
kind of want you to, just because it's our boy.
Goulamay.
It's our boy.
Goulamay.
Brie
Boy
boss.
Goulamay.
Goulamay, Brie
boys.
boss.
Love you, Goulamay.
Bubble butt bottom boy. What?
Yeah.
I think I made that joke last
For
week too.
Yeah.
I think
It's
you
a good
did,
one.
or you changed the
Yeah.
thing of
Yeah,
the
bubble butt
thing.
brisbois.
Yeah.
Precisely. I just saw the thing. Anyway. For Vegas, we have Keegan Closer, undisclosed, expected to be out until at least the 21st. Shay Theodore, upper body, listed as IR, expected to be out until at least the 21st. Aiden Hill, undisclosed, expected to be out until at least the 27th. Caden Korsiak.
Korshak.
Hayden Korshak.
There you go.
Yeah. Lower body listed as IR, expected to be out until at least December 27th. For Washington, Sonny Miliano.
Milano.
How did I say Miliano?
Former Duck.
Former Duck. Former Cap.
Quack, motherfucker.
Current Cap.
Yeah, I was like former Cap. Do you know something I don't know? Fuck.
Former Blue Jacket. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
He's out with an upper body injury, listed on IR, expected to be out until at least the 27th. TJ Oshie, that one hurts, yeah. Lower body, expected to be out until at least the 27th. And then we talked about it last week, but Max Pacioretty, Achilles, but he could be back as soon as the 27th, which is a big update.
He actually, I think it was yesterday, was practicing without a in a contact jersey.
That's
so
exciting.
It was the first time in a non-contact jersey.
Yeah,
it was actually it was this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is his first non-contact since his injury.
Heck yeah!
Or, I mean, his first contact jersey since his injury.
I'm excited for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excited to see him come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Connecticut boy, we love Patchy.
Yep.
For Winnipeg, we have Josh Morrissey. He has that face injury. Can't be seen. It's too ugly. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he took a puck or something to the face. But he's listed as day-to-day. Rasmus Kupari.
Mm-hmm.
Kupari, yeah. Shoulder injury, expected to be out until at least December 27th. And Kyle Connor rounds out the list with a knee injury, expected to be out until at least February 6th.
And the easiest name to wrap things up.
Yeah. Love that. But yeah, I'm guessing that, well, maybe that's not an MCL, ACL tear, but something similar.
Probably.
I just like to try to, what I think their issues are.
Yeah.
Because of what I do for a living.
Most of them are syphilis, so we're just going to assume.
Most of them are syphilis.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, with that, again, thank you. Let's do our, as always, the ultimate section of this, the thing that ends it every week. And this year, Chris has given us this year. I keep saying that. Like, I'm just ready for it to be over.
Well, I've definitely mixed it up this year.
You have. But this week, Chris gave us a helpful tip that this is something we haven't seen yet in the obscure NHL player of the week. And Danger and I have made guesses. So we're curious to see
wrong
which
guesses,
one of us.
apparently.
I didn't say anything was wrong. I just said that you will find out.
So let's see if either one of us are right. Chris, will you take it away with our obscure NHL player of the week, please?
Oh, I think I will. Absolutely. So, this week, our obscure NHL player of the week is a gentleman by the name of Peter Ronquist. Born in 1973 from Stockholm, Sweden, he was a goalie that was drafted 264th overall in the 1992 NHL draft by the Ottawa Senators, making him affectionately known as Mr. Irrelevant in the draft.
Yeah.
This is new because he chose not to even play in the NHL. He chose to play in Sweden.
What?
And he played his entire career in Sweden. She was right.
Well,
yeah,
I was right.
She was right. Yes. He played across various. I have zero stats for him. I googled this guy before, and I'm lucky I found a Wikipedia page.
Right.
But I guess the only stat I could see is it talks about him playing in the 1999 World Championships with Team Sweden. That his best
Okay.
career year in that league of Sweden, he had a 1.86 goals against average in 41 games. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very much so a first. Mr. Irrelevant, as they affectionately know, the
As
last player picked in the draft.
which I would
Never
say
even
he's the
played.
most irrelevant out of all of them. Like, some of them
Yeah,
have turned out to actually be pretty good players.
this is obscure
Um,
as fuck.
but this is yeah. Wow.
Yep,
An
drafted in
NHLer who never played.
never played. And you know what? That happens a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And if anyone wonders why I picked 1992, well, I was just thinking of a number and a year, and I was like, I'll just pick the year I was born.
What a wee little baby.
Indeed, I'm just a whole year younger than you.
I know.
I do,
I know.
however, one of these weeks, I want to gather up like all of us at LTN, and like I want to find out what team won the Stanley Cup each year that everyone was born. Like I know the Penguins
Okay.
won when I was born and when
Mhm.
D was born. Um,
Yeah.
I only know that because
We'll have
like
to look it up for danger.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
it's funny like with the year I was born and the year my niece was born. My dad said were two great years for him. He goes, the Penguins won the Stanley Cup, and I was like, all right, yeah, awesome, thanks. Yep, not when your
Yeah.
son and your granddaughter's
Not
born.
yeah, right?
No, he goes no.
No.
He's like, pfft. Like I don't
That
want to
was
worry
the
about
icing
that.
on top.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, no, he ain't even gonna give me that.
Well, on that
Alright.
note, I
Yeah.
think that brings us to the end of this week's episode.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for joining us as always. Don't forget, if you have not yet, subscribe because it's fucking free, bro. Like, it's really easy. And also,
Yeah.
don't forget to drop a like or a comment. All likes and comments are welcome.
You
We
know,
just
here's a
want you
fun
to
one.
interact with us.
Just tell us your favorite color this week. What's your favorite color? D, what's your
Make it
favorite
like
color?
obscure. You know what I mean? Like, you can't
Oh
just say
god.
green. You have to say like pistachio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't be boring.
Yeah. If I have to pick, my favorite color is purple, but if I have to pick a favorite version of purple, probably a lavender or a lilac.
Ooh, very
Mm.
nice. Mine is seafoam green, if I have to get specific.
Mine is probably like a cyan or turquoisey
Oh,
blue or
okay.
coral. I really
Okay.
like that like pinky orange
Also,
look.
if
But it depends on
Nice.
the shade too,
I'm gonna put it out there
you know.
that if somebody actually says pews, we'll hook you up with something.
But you have to mean it. You have to show us
Yeah,
an
you
item
have
in
to
your room that is
genuinely. I need
actual.
to see
Yeah.
Yeah.
that you own pews. I need to see that you
Right.
know what pews looks like first.
Right. That you can
Thought you
accurately
were making
identify.
fun of Pius. And I said
No,
Puss suitor.
peace,
Puss Suitor
peace,
last
love, puss suitor.
Yeah.
week.
God, that was
Love
so
Puss
good.
Suitor.
Terrific.
Anyway, thank you guys
Alright.
so much for joining us this week. We love you all, and we will see you
Love
mother
you.
puckers in the face-off circle next week.